Hello and welcome to Mathematical Literacy. I am Brainstorm Betty, and in this video, we will discuss situational rounding. The effects of rounding must be taken into consideration. It must be thought through carefully. When working with just numbers, we can round off to any space and it doesn't really affect things that badly. When we're rounding off, for example, with money, we always round off to 2 decimal places. If we round off in situations to fill up a container, we would need to round down, for example, passengers in a plane. If we need to accommodate a certain number of objects, guests at a function, anything like that, buying paints in liters, we would need to round up. If you work out you need, for example, 4.3 liters of paint, you would need to round up. Even though a 3 you would usually round down, you would need to round up. Let's look at a few of these examples. A table at a dinner party can seat 7 people. How many tables would be needed to seat 95 people? So what we would do with that is we would take the 95 and divide that by 7. 7 into 9 once leaves us with 7. 9 minus 2 is 2. Pull down the 5. 7 into 25 gives us 3. 3 times 7, 21. We are left with 4 people who needs a table. So 13 tables will not be enough to seat all 95 people. We can't leave these 4 people to just be standing at a function. We need a table for them. So therefore, not all 95 people can be seated at 13 tables. Therefore, 14 tables are needed. Number 2. There are 11 players on a soccer team. How many complete teams can be made from 83 players? So we take the 83, divide that by the 11, and we can fit that in 7, leaving us with 77. 83 minus 77, apologies, will leave us with 6 players. That doesn't mean that we have an extra team. We only have 7 teams. So 7 complete teams can be made with 83 players. Let's look at this with a bit more context to it. A vendor pays 14 Rand for a bag of 26 apples. Firstly, A, how much to the nearest cent does he pay per apple? So we would take the 14 Rand and we would divide that by the 26. Now, I'm not going to do this with a long division. I am just going to use my calculator. Typing it into the calculator gives us an answer of 0,538 461 5385. Now this is money and we're rounding off to the nearest cent. We will be rounding off to 2 decimal places. So that is what we will be looking at. We will be looking at the 8. The 8 is well within the green. We add the 1, and so therefore he pays 0 Rand and 54 cents per apple. Number B. How much profit does he make if he charges this amount per apple? So if we take the 54, we multiply that by the 26 apples that he has to sell at this price. He makes 14 Rand and 4 cents in total. So he paid 14 Rand for it. He has 4 cents more back, or 4 cents more than he did to start with. So therefore, he makes 4 cents of profit. If he charges 67 cents per apple, and Sue buys 6 apples, what amount will she pay rounded off to the nearest 5? So I'll get to this part just now. We take the 67 cents, multiply that by the 6, and we get that she pays 4 rand and 2 cents. Round off to the nearest 5 cents. 2 is closer to 0 than it is to 5, and so therefore Sue will pay 4 rand. The reason for this 5 cents is in South Africa, the smallest coin value that we have is 5 cents. So when you're calculating things in actual payment in cash, then you need to round to the nearest 5 cent. A lot of places don't even use those anymore, even though their prices have it on there. So situational rounding is greatly dependent on what the situation is, whether we need to fill up a container of sorts, whether that container is not an actual physical container like a sports team, then you'll round down. And if you need to fit in a certain amount of things, then you'll need to round up. Any further questions that you have, pop them down in the comment section below. Thanks for joining. See you next time, and bye for now.